This lesson is Solve Absolute Value Inequality Part 1. Here I have an example with absolute value less than 3. Before you can drop the absolute value, make sure that there is nothing here and nothing right here where I am pointing at. One more time, make sure before you drop the absolute value, there is nothing here, and also there is nothing right here as well. Okay, and in this situation, we do not have anything here. We also don't have anything here, so we can drop the absolute value and rewrite it as x less than positive 3. Rewrite it as exactly what the original problem has. So x less than 3. Okay. However, absolute value have a right side and a left side. So the right side is positive 3. The left side is negative 3. Make sure you keep the symbol in the same direction on the left side. One more time. Rewrite it as x less than positive 3 on the right side. Now, in the left side, it should be negative 3. And the arrow should be in the same direction also on the left. Okay, so be very careful of that. Next, we need to solve for x. In this situation, x is already by itself, so it is done. No more solving. Okay, next we will split them up, separate them as right and as left. On the right side where I am circling, right here, leave it as is because it's on the right side. However, on the left side, as you can see right here where I am circling, on the left side, you will flip the whole thing over so it becomes x greater than negative 3. Okay? One more time. On the right side, you will leave it as is where I am circling. You will leave it as is, so keep it the way it is. And then on the left side right here where I am circling, you will flip it so it becomes x greater than negative 3. Okay, now use the answer to graph. So here's my graph up here. Negative 3 open to the right side, negative 3 open to the right side, positive 3 open to the left side. So positive 3 open to the left side. Okay, make sure always put a 0. 0 will separate left side and right side. Left is negative, right is positive. Okay, in this situation there is overlap. The overlap is right here from negative 3 all the way to positive 3. Since there is an overlap, the answer is only in the overlap. Okay, the answer is only at the overlap part. Okay, so that's negative 3 and positive 3. And make sure you keep it as parentheses because that's how it was in the beginning. Okay, so this example, we didn't do much solving. Okay, next example, we will have to do more solving. So here we go. As you can see, I have something in the front of the absolute value, and there's nothing back here, which is okay. So we don't have to worry about that. So first thing we need to worry is this 4. So subtract the 4 over, which I have right here. Subtract 4 over, so that becomes negative 5. Next, this negative 5, we need to divide. So be very careful. This number next to absolute value must be divided. One more time. This number, negative 5, is next to the absolute value must be divided. So divide negative 5, divide by negative 5 to both sides, which I have here. Divide negative 5, divide negative 5. This negative 5 go away. Negative 5 give me positive 1. Since I am dividing by negative, this symbol has been flipped. Okay, so be very careful. When you divide by negative, this symbol is flipped. Okay. Next, as you can see, same rule apply. Make sure that there's nothing here and also there's nothing here as well. Okay, so one more time. there's nothing here where I just circle, and there's nothing right here where I am circling. Then after that, you can drop the absolute value and rewrite the equation as negative 2x, negative 7, greater than positive 1. Now that's on the right side where I am circling. However, absolute value have right side and left side. So over here is positive 1, then over here should be negative 1. Make sure you keep the same arrow on the left as well. Okay, so positive 1, negative 1. The arrow, just copy this arrow and paste it on the left side. Okay, so the right side should be positive, the left side should be negative. Okay, always, again, right is positive, left is negative. Okay, so be very careful of that. Next, we solve for x, so this is negative 7, so subtract 7 to the left side and the right side, so that gives me this gives me positive 6. Bring down the negative 2x, this gives me positive 8. Next, I want x to be by itself, so I will divide by negative 2. So here's the negative 2, divide by negative 2, and I have it up here on this side. So what I did was I just moved this up here. Okay, so I divide by negative 2 to both sides, left and right, so that gives me negative 3. This gives me negative 4. Again, when I divide by negative, this symbol is switch, this symbol is also switch. Okay, once x or variable is by itself, then we are done solving, no more solving. One more time, when a variable is by itself, we are done, no more solving. Okay, so the right side, now we use the answer, separate them, right side and left side. So this is the right side, leave it as is. One more time, this is the right side right here where I'm circling, leave it as is. This is the left side, flip it so it becomes x greater than negative 3. One more time, this is the right side, leave it as is. This is the left side, flip it so it becomes x greater than negative 3. Okay, one more time, this is the right side, leave it as is. This is the left side, flip the whole thing over right here. This is the left side, flip the whole thing so become x greater than negative 3. Okay, now use the answer to graph. Okay, so right here, again, always put 0. 0 will give me my left side as negative and my right side is positive. However, both of our answer is negative, so it's going to be on the left side. So this is negative 3, open, face right. Negative 3, open, face right. Negative 4, open, face left. So negative 4, open, face left. Okay, so that's my graph. Now use the graph to write my interval notations. So arrow is infinity. One more time, arrow is infinity, and since it's on the left side, is negative. Infinity is always parentheses, which is open, followed by comma, negative 4 parentheses. So negative 4 parentheses, which is here. I have a gap, so gap is for the letter U. Negative 3 parentheses, negative 3 parentheses, comma, arrow, infinity, and since it's positive, we don't need to write the positive. Okay, so one more time, arrow, infinity, since it's on the left, negative, with parentheses, comma, negative 4 parentheses, gap, U, parentheses, negative 3 parentheses, comma, and then arrow 8 parentheses, arrow, infinity, parentheses. Okay, so again, same thing, make sure you solve all the way down. When you get to the answer, separate right and left, graph, interval notations. Be very careful. I am dividing by negative, so I have to switch the sign. Here, same thing, I am dividing by negative, switch the signs. Okay, and also be very careful with absolute value. Before you drop the absolute value, make sure there's nothing here, and also there's nothing right here as well. Okay, an absolute value have a right side and left side. Right side will be positive, left side will be negative. Okay, make sure you keep the arrow in the same direction for the left side as well. This is the right side, this is the left. Make sure they are in the same direction. Okay.